All right, for number 7, let's do a little practice before we jump into it. So, everything from the start of the sentence to the first comma. What is that? Is that the independent clause? Is it an introductory phrase? What do we have there to start the sentence? This is an introductory phrase. All right. So now let's go to the next part. What comes after the comma? So is this going to be an independent clause, or is it going to be another introductory phrase, which can absolutely happen? And what we're looking for to determine that is, can we find a subject-verb combo to start the clause? So find the verb first. See if you can find the first verb. The first verb is still caught. That's the action. All right. And almost everything before the first verb is going to be the subject. So these figures still caught. All right. That is our independent clause. Okay. It does not start with a dependent clause marker. Therefore, we know that we have a subject verb combo. It doesn't start with a dependent clause marker. Almost certainly going to be an independent clause. So now we're going to read the next part to see if we need that comma. We're going to see if we need to pause there. Is this the end of this clause, or does it keep going? These figures still caught Yuming off guard. So that sounds like that is complete. We'll just try to read it again without the comma. These figures still caught Yuming off guard, incongruous as they were with the rush of Philadelphia's da-da-da-da. So it does need a pause there. All right. This is simply taking us to the next part of the sentence, which is telling us more about Yuming off, that it caught Yuming off guard. All right. And so knowing that we need a comma there will allow us to eliminate answer C and D. Now, we need to determine if that second comma after incongruous needs to be there. And so we're just going to ask ourselves, we're going to read it without the comma to see if this goes together. Incongruous as they were. Does that go together? If yes, no comma. If not, then yes, comma. But it does go together. Therefore, it cannot be B, because incongruous as they were, that all goes together. You can't have a comma in the middle of something that all goes together, unless it's one of the 9 exceptions. But that leaves us with answer A. And so let's just read answer A in its entirety to make sure it makes sense. So as many times as she had them, that is introductory phrase. These figures still caught Yuming off guard. That's our independent clause. Incongruous as they were with the rush of Philadelphia's urban city traffic headed for the Vine Street Expressway. I didn't read motionless because it was just a parenthetical in the middle of the clause. And so you can just ignore that. And everything sounded great, confirming that answer A is correct. If this made sense to you, please add it to your worksheet. Write what you learned along with the answer on the explanation side, and then continue on to the next clause 1 question that you missed on this test. If this is the final clause 1 question that you missed on this test, please go ahead and do the clause 1 mastery until you get 10 questions correct in a row before moving on to the next category.